Alright, so I'm going to do a quick video, hopefully, on how to make Quickmatch. And I try and be unbiased as possible when it comes to making my videos usable for all skill levels of pyrotechnics. So if in the beginning it seems like I'm going over things you already know, then just bear with me and we'll get into some of the real meaty stuff towards the end. But quick match is a form of fuse. This is quick fuse, but quick match um, is a fuse that burns at a very high rate, usually over 40 feet per second, and all the way up to 80, 100 feet per second. And then you go into det cord, which burns at pretty much unmeasurable rates. But quick match is very useful in pyrotechnics, especially when you're trying to detonate things instantaneously, such as shells. Also, when you're trying to put things together like cakes or multi-shot aerials, when you want them to go off at the same time, use quick match because there's no delay. It's an instant um, burn from the time you ignite the fuse. It's also very dangerous if you don't know what you're doing because of that. If you put it onto a mortar or a shell, and all you need is just one spark and that shell goes up. There's no fuse burning to give you the warning to get the hell out of there. As soon as something goes, it's up and there's little time for reaction. So with that warning, I just kind of make sure that you know what you're doing. If you're gonna attempt this, you know how to the proper use for a quick match, and all the safety precautions. Some of the things you're going to need it's really easy. All you need is a sheet of computer paper, some Elmer's school glue, scotch tape, scissors, and quick fuse. Now, quick fuse is a consumer product. Quick match you cannot buy as a consumer. You need a special permit. But the quick fuse can be bought as a consumer, and it burns at a higher rate than your regular green visco fuse, which you find on most consumer fireworks. It burns at about, I'd say, 0.3 seconds, so 3/10 of a second per foot. So it's pretty quick fuse itself, but you use this fuse to make the burn even quicker. So to start off, what you're going to do is take your sheet of paper and your scissors, and you're going to cut it into perfectly straight strips about a little over an inch, between an inch and an inch and a half in width. And you're just going to go down the length of the paper. So if you're going to planning on making a lot of this fuse, then you just cut your whole paper into strips, I guess, but we're only making one 11-inch piece of fuse today. So you have your strip like this. Alright, step one. Next thing you're going to do is cut a piece of quick fuse the same length as that, but you want to give like an inch on each end. So just kind of, it's a rough cut. You're just cutting it, making sure that it's going to be long enough, leaving yourself a little extra. And then what you're going to do is take your length of fuse and you're going to kind of get in there, and you're just going to kind of rip open this paper. It starts to unspiral, and you'll have these three pieces of fuse in here, and what it is uncoated visco, or consumer firework fuse, and it's uncoated, and it's called black match. So easily confused with quick match, but it's called black match. There's three strands of it. It's very brittle, so if you bend it, it starts to crack and fall off. It's just a gunpowder, black powder coated string, so be careful with it. It's fragile. You're just going to keep unspiraling this paper, and sometimes you can get it where you can just kind of pull it and it just comes right off. So you're going to keep going like this, keep going around. Now this can be done with 3 strands of black match, but I like to add another strand of black match for 4 strands, and it can go all the way up as much as you want. I wouldn't recommend going over 6 or 7, but I do it with 4 strands because I like a lot of fire in there to make sure that the quick match lights whatever it is that I have hooked onto it. So what I do is I have my 3 long pieces, and you want to try and keep them aligned. You don't want to mess them up, so we'll just kind of lay them down. And I take this quick fuse again, and I cut another length, a rough estimate length, a little over how long the paper is. I unspiral it. And like I said, we're going to make 4-strand Quickmatch. When you go and if you have a permit and you buy Quickmatch, it's standard to come with about 5 strands, but I do 4 just for kind of speed. Keep it from taking way too long. But see there you go, it pulls right off. And I take 1 strand out and add it to my 3 strands. And then these I can use for 2 more pieces. So I put these to the side. Now I have 4 strands of black match. Okay. Now what you want to do is you want to take your strip of paper, you want to fold it like this, almost like you're folding a letter, a business letter, into an envelope. So you're folding it about a little more than halfway, just like that. 1 flap, a little more than halfway, creasing it, and then you're folding the top one down on top of it, which should go a little more than halfway across. You're just going to fold it and make this strip of paper, crease it real nice, get your Elmer's glue, and a little dab will do you on this, especially because if you soak through the paper or get it on the inside of the tube, then the fuse will get caught when you thread the fuse through. So you're just going to put a very thin line down like that, and then alright, so then when you push it, you want to seal it and push away to the opening so you don't get any glue down into the tube itself. Push away, 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 just like that. And then all the excess glue, make sure you smear it onto that lip. You want to get a really good seal on this. The key to this is lack of oxygen to the fuse itself. Alright. And then what I like to do is just put a little glue on my finger, like that, and I just like to smear it on some of the things that look like they're coming up. Smear it, get it nice and glued. This can be done with tape, but I feel like it gets too much stuff on the fuse, too much of a cleanup. The Elmer's glue is non-toxic, it's harmless, just burns, nothing wrong. Then you're going to push on the ends, kind of open up the tube, down the tube. You may need a second to dry, but if you do the glue right, it should be dry right when you're done, if you don't use too much glue. And you're going to take your 4 strands, sorry, or whatever you choose. Make sure it will work with 2, but it's not as fast, so 3 I recommend, but not over 6 or 7. You're going to take them and you're just going to thread them. If you can get it in there, thread them through one end of the tube. And remember, you're trying to keep them aligned as best as possible. So I grab, push all at once. You don't want to push one further than the other. Keep them aligned. It's going to come out the other end, just like that. And then that's your Quickmatch fuse. Now what I like to do is take, for display purposes, I'm going to take a piece of the extra black match, cut a piece off like this, about that long, and I'm going to lower these 4 strands in a little bit, just like that. I'm going to take this piece after they're lowered in, insert it in just a little bit, take a piece of our tape, and you do this anyway, even if you weren't doing a demonstration for lighting it, you kind of tape those 4 pieces together and then to the tube itself, so they don't slide through the tube on you while you're in your display. And then you have these laying at the end. I'm just going to trim them up, my extra length, so it's good to have extra. Just trim that up like that. And this is a piece of Quickmatch. So I'm going to take it outside real quick, light it, and we'll see what happens. Alright, so this black match fuse burns at a normal rate, but once it hits the paper and it's combined with a whole bunch of other pieces of black match, it speeds up. So I'm going to wait the end so it doesn't fly away as much, or hopefully, and I'm going to light it. There you go. So you see how quick it was. That's Quickmatch for you.